Hey y'all, welcome back to my shop for a wood turning tip. I think I've struggled for quite a while on how to best put my dust collection hood on my lathe, and I've tried a couple of things. I tried a big gulp, all those big black things behind the lathe on a chair, old chair set of wheels that I could move out of the way, and I didn't like that. I tried the bungee cord around a 4-inch hose, and I didn't care for that. I built this contraption right here, which I thought would work fairly well. I'll show you the details of how it fastens down and what change I've made with it. Now this was a contraption I made. I cut this out on a bandsaw and then put a block in here. Some people could route it out, but that's a little more work than I cared to do. And basically I made a clamp block. I think it's 5/16. And I had a round one, but it didn't work real well because I had to slide it all the way off the end, or I had to completely unthread this thing to take it off. So I replaced it with this T-block to make it a little easier. It'll twist and I come on, but turns out I still didn't have it quite the right size, and it was a hassle fumbling around when I wanted to take it off the lathe. Or make major adjustments, like when I slide my headstock all the way down. So the arrangement I came up with is this contraption. Let me show it to you this way, the way it hooks in. I made a little bitty one out of wood, prototype, out of small pieces of wood. Then I made larger pieces and glued it with hot glue. And then I forgot about it for a while. When I finally got back together, it's like, oh yeah, I need to finish this project. I expect some of y'all had that same situation. And I thought, well, this prototype looks good enough to use. So here's how the thing works. I just made this little saddle and it just slides in. And it's not going anywhere. It won't go forward, backwards, except it slides much easier when I want to make an adjustment rather than this thing. And I still get to use the top of this. The back of this, by the way, I made finger joints. I think I made finger joints. Yes, to make this very, very strong right angle out of hardwood, but you could probably use screws. So let me show you how this thing works now. And this is a big improvement, I feel like, for me, because I can just lift it out of the way. So I'm going to get rid of that little T-block, mount this thing here. So I get to still use most of the basic contraption that I had. Actually shortened it a little bit. It made for a bigger adjustment, which I didn't need, so I cut it back a little bit. And there we go. So if I want to slide this up, I just loosen the screw and I can bring this up to the smaller work. If I've got a 20-inch bowl, which I rarely turn, I can slide this all the way back and get 20-inch clearance. But the neatest thing to me is when I want to move this thing, I just kind of lift it a little bit and slide it down. It's catching on. There we go. Just lift it up and it'll slide down very easily and then lock back into place, which I kind of like. And if I want to take it off and completely take it off the lathe and lower it on the back, instead of having to fumble with two things, taking the screw off and fiddle with that thing, all I've got to do is just lift this forward and it will just clear because of that locking mechanism. So that's my tip. If y'all got something better or another suggestion, I'd like to hear it. And post your comments for anything dealing with dust collection or anything else on wood turning. See you next week.